Hey guys, it's Eric and this is my YouTube page. I've toyed around with the idea of doing a video blog for some time now, and this is the tryout stage. For those of you who don't know, I have a written blog, Unpretentious Spiritual Musings, which I update semi-regularly, not so much when I'm in school, and I thought that a video blog might be cool for thought sharing, communication, encouragement that maybe doesn't work as well for written communication. So, we'll see what comes of it. That intro aside, I thought I would ease into this video blogging thing by starting off with an uncontroversial topic, like, say, the presidential election. For at least 6 months, up until about the time that it was clear that the current Republican nominee for president, Donald Trump, would be the winner of the Republican primary, I had been speaking out against him on social media. However, even I was not aware of the extent to which his moral decrepitude permeated his public and private life. But if anything has been made clear by the transcripts of his conversations with Howard Stern in his radio show, and that private conversation he had with Billy Bush in 2005, it just goes beyond the pale. Now, I know that you have all heard the video, but there are 3 things that stick out to me, so bear with me. First, of course, is the content. Here is a twice divorced, twice adulterated, nearly 60-year-old married man with a pregnant wife talking with a complete stranger, it's been reported, about trying to F a married woman. That is grotesque. What is even more disturbing is that he said that he can kiss women without waiting, he said, for their permission, or that he can grab them by the fill in the blank because he's a star. You can do anything. Those were his words. Now, guys, I want you to imagine with me that you or I had made that comment, or any average Joe off the street. If I had put something like that on my personal Facebook page, and then someone had gone and reported that to my employer, I would have been fired. And chances are you would have been fired as well. And yet this is the man that some Christians, some followers of Christ want to put in the White House. This is the person they are throwing their moral, political, and theological weight behind. The second disturbing thing is that this is a private conversation. In the past, Donald Trump has been able to excuse his misogynistic and sexist comments directed towards women by veiling it in terms of, well, it's just entertainment. It's just, I'm an entertainer. And we've kind of let it slide because, okay, yeah, sure, he did reality television, and we know it's, the job of a star to be bombastic and over the top. This is not him engaging in entertainment, or at least not public entertainment. This is him on a bus with a near stranger bragging about trying to F a married woman and being able to grope and kiss women without their permission because he's a star. That's not okay. The third disturbing thing, and I don't think I've actually seen anybody mention this, but once him and Billy Bush get off the bus, Billy puts this to the test and turns to the woman who's waiting for them and says, "How about a little hug for the Donald?" And, Donald Trump goes in for a hug. Is that not the creepiest thing? Like the most pervy thing? Especially in light of the conversation that they just had? Now, we have all heard the justifications for this behavior, and I'm not even going to go there because, frankly, I don't know if I can say this. I'm going to say it. Some of you, some people, I love you, but you just seem silly. You just seem desperate. Particularly as Christians trying to excuse this kind of behavior. But I know someone is going to say to me, what about Hillary Clinton? Guys, I have spoken out against Hillary Clinton, particularly in regards to the question of abortion, but other things like same-sex marriage. I've spoken out against her. I have not, however, talked about Hillary Clinton as much as I have talked about Donald Trump. And the reason for that is simple. The circle that I run in is mostly center-right to far-right Christians. I was a Republican for the longest time before I became politically neutral. That's just the people I know. That's where most of my friends are. Not all, but a lot. Most. And so most of these people were never considering voting for Hillary Clinton in the first place. For that reason, it was just never necessary for me to continue to speak out against her or hammer her because they already recognized, for good or for bad, true or not, just how unfit she was from a Christian perspective. not being able to put our weight behind her. However, I must say, and I've been thinking about this a lot, I do regret speaking out so much in a certain sense about the candidates as individuals, only because, for those of you who don't know, I don't believe that Christians should vote, but I feel like I have given, despite that, I've given the impression that if the candidates were better, like if we had Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton, or John Kasich instead of Donald Trump, then Christians could vote with a clear conscience, even though that's not what I believe. Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my disciples will be fighting to prevent my arrest from the Jews, but as it is, my kingdom is not of this realm." John 18:36. The kingdoms that you see around you, which is the governments, these are not God's. And God has not asked us in His Word to control them or shape them or influence them or take them over or mess with them. He says, "Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you." And I don't know how many times I have said this in the past year or more, but because the kingdoms of this world are by nature of this world, and the kingdom of God is by nature not, to the extent that we are participating in the kingdoms of this world, we are not participating in the kingdom of God. And it goes even deeper than that. We're not only not participating, but because there are contradictions between the way that the kingdom of God works and the kingdom of the world's work, we are compromising our citizenship in the kingdom of God when we participate in the kingdoms of the world. And that includes voting for people like Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, or just voting in general, because that's just part and parcel of the kingdoms of the world and the power over. So, after thoughtful consideration and, if I'm being honest, just plain old exhaustion, I am done talking about the front runners, the individual candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, until the election is over. I have said everything that I can say about them, and everything that could be said about them has already been said, and I just want to keep my eyes on the prize. I'm going to continue to talk about the election and politics and kingdom politics and kingdom theology, but as far as those two folks go, I'm done until at least after Super Tuesday. Like many of you have already done, I am freeing myself from the burden of personal commentary on these two individuals, and I'm redoubling my efforts to just pray. Pray for our country, pray for our leaders, pray for the Church of Christ in our country and around the world. And I know many of you will be joining me in that. With that said, thank you for those of you who are able to make it through that first video blog without either getting bored or angry and walking away. If you have any ideas for topics or discussions, you can leave them in a comment below, shoot me a message. But until then, see you next time.